Welcome back to the second part of the XR100. So when we left last time, I'm not going to go over everything, but I've got the front wheel off. We're going to get the new tire on here. We're going to clean that up. But I wanted to say something about Rocky Mountain ATV. They are really fast, and the pricing is about the same, if not less, than the other discount OEM part dealers. You know, there's Partzilla, there's all kinds of OEM aftermarket, part houses. But the one in Utah happens to be really close to me here in Nevada. So the parts come quick and their price is right. So let's get this tire put on. All cleaned up and shiny. Got those spokes back. And that's the way it should look, nice and silvery. Silvery. Now this, they had put some duct tape on in the trough here instead of using the proper rubber ring that goes in there. So I had to clean. And I have taken off the seal. And again, just because it's got this seal on it doesn't mean it's not serviceable. Just pull the seal off. I use a nice little pick here. Nice little snap-on pick, and I actually have broken it off numerous times and resharpened it. So, in here, these are really hard to move, so I'm going to have to work a little harder on these than I did on the rear. What I did here, and I'm just going to do it again to show you. Get the seal out. Of course, when I'm on the camera, I bend it a little. That's okay. It can be straightened. So I lubed the bearings. I had to really use a lot of PB Blaster, and they're still probably not perfect, but when in time, because they got so dry and sat so long, in time they're probably going to free up just fine. And then I cleaned them out with brake cleaner. And I made a special little deal to get them to spin on my drill. Just to work that grease in real good. And then I packed them 2-3 times after doing that because it kind of pushes it down. And so we're ready to mount the tire. I'm trying to get all of these little, see how they're kind of buckled in? See that right there? So what I did is I loosened the top and I slid the boot down and I got them all out, and I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to take a heat gun to it and I'm going to kind of heat them up, and hopefully when they cool down, that'll retain the shape better. And I'm also probably going to run these lower down on the tube, not all the way to the top, to give it a little bit more compression to keep them in. Now it's got a tear in the boot here, but for the price of these, you have to draw the line somewhere. So I'll just get them, as you can see, I've got them dressed out pretty good. They're going to look, black and shiny, but I want to get those little pieces out of there. And it was an exciting day. We got the All Balls carburetor kit, which I have never used. All Balls. I seem to get the carburetor kits off of eBay, just kind of willy-nilly, and that's not good. I'm going to try this. I hope that the jets and rubber seals and also the needle valve here, float valve. I'm hoping that it's all really good stuff, and we'll know soon when I rebuild this after we get the front wheel back on. Well, I think it worked out well. They look fantastic. They're holding their shape, and I really did get them super hot when they were collapsed. So those edges are probably been remelted, remelted on the outer edge. So I just hope they hold their shape. If they don't, it's not a big deal, but little details mean a lot, at least to me. So there's the front tire. And with new tires, the thing looks so much better already. And another thing I wanted to show you is I ordered these parts from Rocky Mountain, okay? And I'm amazed. I ordered them Sunday night. They're closed Sunday, of course, but I ordered them online. And they sent it out, printed this label at 2:48 p.m. 11/9/2020. Here it is 1 day later at 11 o'clock. That is, now I could have ordered this yesterday morning, and I believe if you have it in by 10 o'clock, it ships out that day. So that's, it's basically overnight. Now I live in Reno, Nevada, and they're in, where is this? Payson, Utah. So anyhow, it's just amazing. I enjoy that because, your local dealer, you can go in there and you ask and, or whatever, and they go, well, we don't have it, which they never have it. And they'll get it for you though, and it'll be a couple of days. 5 business days is actually what they tell you. 5 business days. I'm getting this stuff overnight. The guy just showed up 11 o'clock in the morning. If I'd have, that would have been about a 25 hour turnaround if I ordered it right at 10 o'clock yesterday. So it's amazing. I just wanted to point that out. Now, if you live in California, it's probably a little further away, but how in the world would anyone buy anything from the dealer when you can order it on a Sunday evening? You don't have to go in, you don't have to drive, you don't have to get COVID. And the prices, it's not about price for me. It's about turnaround. I'm looking at this bike being turned around and ready to go in a week. It's going to be about a week and a half. So, I don't want to wait a week to start up again. And these were the last few things that I ordered. So let's get on to the final clean. We're going to clean in here. We're going to clean under here. And just see if we can get this a little better. I don't think we can. The key, clean all that out. Clean a little bit better here. But I pretty much got it clean the first time. But the second clean always is better when you can get access before I put this chain on and before I put any side covers on. And it's important because, when I'm buying a bike, I look in there and I see, is the thing just, it's been washed, but is it like just caked with dirt around the springs? Caked down in here. I mean, typically there's no silver in there. And the yellow is dirty yellow. None of the spokes shine. None of the wheels shine. So all these little details all add up. So let's get out and clean the final clean. So the initial parts are looking good. It comes with 2, this is the all balls kit. It comes with 2 different jets. It comes with a 98 and like an 82. Same size pilot jet. Comes with the intake O-ring and a new mixture adjustment. So this mixture adjustment, mixture needle, it has a little rubber washer and a little metal washer and a spring like most of them do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this together, but before I did, I sprayed out every hole, every little place where gas flows, you know, just spray it all out. What it looks like on the outside isn't as important as what it's like on the inside. And we'll put this together. One little tool I made that is almost invaluable with carburetors, and you actually could do it with a smaller paper clip with a thinner one, but it's just a paper clip with a little hook on the end. So when you got to go down in there into that needle, you've got the little black washer there, and they're always stuck inside. And this, with the little hook on it, just goes right in, and sometimes takes a little bit of work, but most of the time you just hook it and it comes right out. So the new needle, I always put the spring, the little washer, and then the rubber washer in and mount it all on the needle itself. And then it's easier to put in. And this was set at 2 turns out, the original. So let's get it all the way in there. And you don't want to really, you know, you're going to read about that a million times. Don't bury the needle. You can feel it stop. So that's 1, 2 out. And I've got the emulsion tube and the main jet in there. Now the pilot jet. And I think that was the problem with this bike not idling, because I'm looking through this pilot jet, which is the one that came out of it, and you can't see daylight through it. You can't, it's clogged. So there's that. Now we need to put the new needle on the float, and I noticed that it just hangs there. So there we go. Drop it in. Grab the pin. And there's no press fit. And float level. I didn't look it up, and I will. All right, 12. Now I know this is backwards because I'm using the camera like a selfie. Anyway, it's 12.5 millimeters. How you do that is let that hang and then turn it till you see it just stop on the pin. And then measure the height right here of the float. And that's the highest point. And I can live with that. I think these are just not such critical carburetors, but you definitely wouldn't want it sitting up like this or sunk way down like that. You know, you want to be within 1. Actually, that is right at 12.5. Now let's take the O-ring out of here. And this definitely was collapsed, so there could have been a little vacuum leak. Probably not. All right. Alright, so that's in there. Got everything we have underneath there. So we can go ahead and clean the inside. Now let's put, this is the old and this is the new, and the new is definitely much thicker feeling. So pretty, and look at that fit. That's, so far this kit is really good. And I would expect all balls to do a little more than some of these others. It wasn't expensive, so line that up. Now I want to, yeah, it's in there. So let's, there we go. All seated. Get the 3 screws. Hoping you can see this pretty good because the light is actually in the wrong spot. Okay, so I just realized that it comes with 3 new screws, and that's a bonus. I have not seen a kit come with new screws for the float bowl, and I'm using my brand new screwdriver set that is, you can just feel it when you slide the head into the Phillips head screw. You can just feel it. This is a vessel, which is Japanese commercial, what do they call that? But anyhow, these are very, very nice screwdrivers. Super magnetic tip. And just cinch these down. Don't need to be super tight, just snug. And there we go. So we've got a clip, an O-ring, that's the extra jet, that's the float. So there's the old stuff. So we need to put a new needle in. I usually don't do that. Usually the kit doesn't come with it, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if the stock one is, different, and yeah, it can mess things up, but anyhow, I'm going to do it on this one. So this is probably the top of the slide seal, and that's an O-ring for something. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably have to go to the microfiche at Rocky Mountain, which that's handy. And I'm not pushing Rocky Mountain. Look at that. Left that off. So I got to go back in. But I'm not pushing Rocky Mountain. I order from just about everybody, but they are so close to me, and it's just been kind of the place I ended up at. So let's open this back up, put the little diffuser in. So the parts are in. This is the rear adjuster for the rear axle that was missing on the one side. So the nut and the 2 washers and the chain guard, and then the rubber chain snubber, whatever you want to call it. Now what I did is I found there was a little O-ring, and it actually went on this idle speed adjustment screw. So put that in, and I'm not going to mess with the needle. I normally don't, just because the other needle's shiny and nice. I think it's going to work just fine. So we're going to put this back on, but we're going to go ahead and do this piece, these, and this, and clean up that back end. I want to show you what I do with the nuts and bolts. I keep each part with its nuts and bolts. So instead of putting a little Ziploc bag, sometimes I'll do that on a bigger project like this KZ650 and other bikes. You know, I actually have to put them in bags and mark them. But so I just do the bolts as I come to it. You know, if I'm putting on this rubber part here, and it takes these special washers and 2 screws. So I just clean them as I go, each piece. It takes probably a little longer than if I were to throw them all into one bag or one bucket and clean them all. But the thing is I would have to figure out which bolt goes with what part, and I don't have to do that this way. Each piece has its parts sitting right next to it. Its nuts and bolts sitting right next to it. So the rubber chain slider's on. This piece I ordered, and I kind of knew I shouldn't have ordered it. I looked at it before and figured, I thought maybe I would just weld a piece on here, but the problem is this has a slide in the back that would have gone back here, just a little tab, and that would have slid in, and then you bolted the 2, and I could do 2, I could do both of them. I could re-weld this or just hang it with one off this tab, but this tab's gone, so I'm not going to deal with both of them. Chain is on. Should be about right. So we've got the air box on and the air cleaner. We've got the cover on, and I know now why there's this silicone here, because behind here, a little piece of the case is cracked off where the bolt, they probably snapped the bolt off or what, who knows what, but I don't believe that's an issue. It's just kind of more cosmetic right now than anything. The shifter's on, chain, it's all adjusted. Carburetor is on. So now we're getting closer to the plastics. So with the plastics, first step is to give it a good cleaning, like I did here. The Purple Power, you know, it's real nice looking in the back, but this number and this yellowing. So what I've done for a long time is a little lacquer thinner and just work on getting the glue off. Now I haven't tried anything stronger, but I haven't really needed to, and I'm not sure if the stronger stuff, see how I'm getting that black off, and just washing it with Purple Power wouldn't have done that. So I just got to get the glue. The glue and all the black marks off. So there it is. The lacquer thinner really does a good job, but I've still got a little fading from the sticker and from the number 4. So got to make the decision whether I'm going to get new plastics. I kind of doubt it. You know, it's not it's kind of good money after bad. The plastics are good. There's just a little faded 4 in there, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to have that issue on the side covers. So now is the time to put some gas in it, get it started, and change the oil. But the exhaust came out beautiful, and I've got to remember what paint this was I used, because look at that. That, if you ask me, that is OEM Honda right there. And I painted this gloss, and my girlfriend startled me and distracted me, and I dropped it. But you know what? It's a dirt bike. Can't be perfect. So, got the tank on, got the front fender on, exhaust, carburetor, airbox. It's time to take it out and and start it up. And just make sure that the carb and everything is running right. And maybe even adjust the cam here. Little cam chain adjuster. So let's fill it with gas and get it running. So here it is running. Nice idle. Just perfect. Had a little bit of a cam chain noise, and then I adjusted it right here, and I can't believe it. It just went away. So ready to button up the rest of it. So now I've cleaned up the rear fender. It's still a little scratched and it's broken, but I'm going to make it work. And I've got these stickers that's going to kind of liven it up a little bit. So it's time for the seat. This is pretty beat up. So let's get the cover off. So what I do is I take a nice screwdriver, single edge, sharp, kind of sharp, but not big, and just get in there and I lift up one side, or if both come, that's fine. But it's pretty difficult sometimes to get in underneath these rusty old staples. So the reason I do all the staples, I'm trying to be real careful. I'm sure this foam is not in the greatest condition, but actually it's in pretty good shape. This stuff won't show. So it's time to clean up all the staples and get ready to put the new cover on. So what I have is a Senko. I bought this years ago. Very nice. What is it? SFW09. And I've been going round and round, and I finally got down to 2 size staples. This is 3/8 by 1/4 inch, so it's 3/8 wide, and it's a 22 gauge, which is what the gun calls for. 3/8 by 1/4, and 5/16. And the difference is the depth. The 5/16 is a little bit deeper. Now on the street bikes, their covers are usually got a pad, and so that this 1/4 may not get it. But I've been using this, the deeper one, without any problem on just about everything. So if I were to just do one, I'd probably do the 5/16. All right, so it's been a while, and I only have this foam here. This is not the same density, but it'll work. And so I kind of figured the spot out that's kind of caved in there or ripped off. So what I'm going to do, I cut this piece here, and I'm going to cut out the foam and replace this in there. And hopefully everything goes well. Okay, so I have this in at a point that I'm really comfortable with, and I think that I'm going to achieve a pretty flat look there. I mean, it won't be perfect, but it will be better than the indented area we had before. So I've always learned on seats that you fasten the front and the rear first, and then do the sides here and suck it all in. Now the air pressure is critical. Seems to be pretty good, but you can see that one went through. So actually I'm not good. I need to take the air pressure down. All right, so I've got it at around 50. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So the thing with seats is that you want to try to get these wrinkles out, right? This is laying down pretty good already, but so you have to start. I started here with this line kind of right on this line, but I saw right away it wasn't going to be tight enough. So I pulled both these in and I stapled them down, and I like that better. And now if I can bring these, you see how that just starts to flatten out? You have to kind of work it, and you might have to pull some staples out here and there, you know, to just regroup. And I'm going back here quite a ways to make sure that I've got plenty of material so I can, if I mess up. But you see how I've got both these in here. And so I've got to work this forward. So this still needs, this front still needs to come in more. So here we go, I've got to pull these three. All right, I've got these three out. And these come out pretty easy. And so I'm just going to work and work and work this up here. And I'm liking that. So I got three in there. I'm liking that better. And with time, wrinkles will kind of lay down, but I like it pretty good from the first get-go. So now let's try and, now we could also pull back because we have that ability to get that, any wrinkles it might be, because when you put the seat on, it's going to kind of run up like that. And you might even want to test fit it on the bike to see where it's going to go, which I'll probably do here in a minute. All right, so I got 4 or 5 in here. Starting to run it down. Let's do this side. Just kind of roll it over and kind of push it and pull it and hold it. And you can see it's starting to look pretty good. This might be a little tight. This looks like a straight line. I don't know if you can see it. That looks pretty straight. And this looks like it might have a little bit of a bow. But actually it's because this isn't pulled in yet. See if we can get this corner. Okay. Yeah, that corner looks pretty good. Let's gather this other corner. All right, I'm going to work this way till I kind of meet up here. So I've got that line of staples there. I'm going to have to pull this back quite a bit here, I can see already. But you can see it's taking shape. I'm really interested in is, yeah, it's this side, what I'm going to see there. We'll figure that out here soon. Let me take this off. Suck up this back a little bit. Just run your hand across it. If you run your hand, you can see you're going to take up, you're going to stretch it. Bring it around the back. Hold it tight. Kind of awkward when you're holding the pressure on it too, but I like that. So let's bring around a little corner here. Yeah. Bring around this corner. You don't want these little lines here. You want them under the seat. Go. It doesn't have to be pretty. You can pull staples out later. Make a nice clean line if you want. That's starting to take shape there, so I'll button all this up here and then we'll test fit it. Alright, so looking pretty good, right? Yeah. And now I can't tell which side that foam repair was on. I don't know if it's on that side or on this side. So that's a good thing. So we saved this seat. Now all I got to do is button up these, and I'll just show you. And the proper air pressure is around 55 is what I'm finding out. Keep rolling it over. Keep rolling it over. I keep looking back in the camera to make sure you can see. There we go. Line all the way, and then I gotta get this one here. Go ahead and get this whole side done. And I'll go down this side. All right, I trimmed all this out along the sides, a lot of stuff. Most of it came from the front here. So I've got all that trimmed down here. Anywhere I think it might hit, and to make it look a little better underneath, but it's all about what it looks like on top. So, looks perfect. Let's test fit it. And there it is. It's going to suck down when I bolt down, when I tighten that down. But it's sitting on there real nice. And much better than the old one. Well, this is done and the end of the video. You can see that she's looking ready to ride and ready for a kid to just break. Everything came out as good or better than I expected. And I hope that somebody out there will see something and help them out on their XR or
just rebuilding or detailing any other bike. And I know those guys in Shingletown are waiting for this video. So I'm going to take a long time at the end here, just so it takes me a little longer to get it online, because I always like to mess with those guys in Shingletown, because they always mess with me. So until the next video, I'll see you later, and thank you for watching.